Hello everybody, Accureye here, and welcome back to another Accureye Talks video. And in today's video, I thought we'd talk about learning how to read your opponent, and just in general reading your opponent. Now, what do I mean by reading your opponent? Well, in many ways, what I mean by reading your opponent is basically, the basic term is basically we learn to, almost in general, if you will, read or see your opponent's move before it even is executed. Now, 9 out of 10 times, if you're just playing online exclusively, lag input will make reading your opponent fairly difficult, as you know, without good connection. Let's face it, at the end of the day, you're gonna have some trouble with reading your opponent, and it is by far one of the more frustrating things to have in the game, is not being able to see your opponent's moves, and you know, not being able to maybe see the frames to get started. It's one of the main reasons I think that, you know, many of us are, you know, playing games on, for instance, the 4 to sometimes even just all the way up to 5-bar settings, and that's because obviously at the end of the day, you know, having a stable and good connection allows you to basically have a full control of, you know, seeing the frames, seeing the attack as it's being inputted, or sometimes in general just as it's being executed. And you know, in general, that is what creates a, you know, a good, if you will, you know, a good challenge, if you will, and a good way of, you know, being able to get the move or the idea of what your opponent is doing before they even are, you know, before they even are executing it, you know. So, with that having been said, you know, you're obviously going to see a lot of people who just can't really get it, and they get, you know, you have people like me who get frustrated all the time on game because of lag or whatever the thing is. And you know, it's one of the main reasons I think many of us good players prefer playing on a 5-bar connection, because at least at a 5-bar connection, we are stable enough that it could be, you know, easy enough to kind of see every frame without having certain frames just like drop. And I mean, I think here is a good example of someone who pretty much just kind of, at the end of the day, basically reverts their moves and shows exactly every single move they're going to do next. And it's one of the reasons why you'll see how, you know, I think in the general perspective of things, I basically make this person rage quit. So yeah, but I mean, that is one thing. It's like when you have a perfect connection or a stable enough connection, like here, I believe I'm actually in a pretty dang good stable connection. I mean, yeah, you can see a few jerks here and there, or a few like swaps here and there. I do think that is from lagging, but in general, you know, it's like in general, this person was easy enough to read that, you know, that it basically was a sense of, okay, what can we make them do next? What are they going to do next? And how should I react? In this case, a lot of my reactions were use the Hadouken, basically, to you know,
that was a bit close.
To of course cancel them out and just in general shut them down. But I mean, you know, a lot of times, you know, it's not always going to be that easy. Sometimes it's going to be very, very difficult to, you know, of course, find your quarter, find out what they're going to do. And of course, when that happens, you know, it is what it is. But, I mean, you know, in general, I think this is going to be a bit of a shorter video than usual. I know sometimes I say that just because sometimes I have that feeling that it's going to be a shorter video than usual. But in this case, it is just, in general, talking about how to read your opponent. Now, there are signs to read your opponent. Most time, reading your opponent takes time. It's going to take a long while. It's going to be like, you'll have to see certain moves. Sometimes, even when fighting your opponent, you may not be able to adapt your style or adapt your fighting until maybe, like, let's just say 2 matches in, or two full games in. I mean, after all, unless you're in a battle lounge where you're always attacking these people and always kind of getting an idea and seeing exactly what they do for the most part, you know, it's fairly easy to, you know, in general, have a, you know, a thing like that going on. Or a, should I say, in general, a, you know, attack plan. And, I mean, in this case, you know, for me, it was easy enough, even though this was laggy as heck when it came to matchups. It was easy enough to kind of at least have a somewhat readable and able, you know, way of understanding what they were going to do. And, you know, adapting to the fighting style was not that hard. So, you know, and in some cases you'll find it like that. But, in general, you want to try to make sure that you have the most stable connection you can get, because obviously it helps. But with that being said, I think this will be the end of the video. You kind of get the idea of why reading your opponent and how to read your opponent, and the ideas behind reading your opponents. But with that being said, thank you everybody for joining me on this video. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Hit the like button, get subscribed, hit the bell notification because I know you want to know when my next video drops next. Thank you everybody for joining me on this video. I am live on Twitch at www.twitch.tv/Accureye. I am live usually on Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday for 4 to 5 hours. But I am also considering to make a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and potentially Sunday stream going forward. Monday and Tuesday will be about 2 to 3 hours, as of course I'm going to be, you know, making videos for you all. And of course Sunday is also going to be 2 to 3 hours. But with that being said, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday will be 4 to 5 hours. And yeah, thank you everybody for joining me on this video. And yeah, until the next one, everybody, this is Accureye signing out and saying farewell, everyone.